Good morning and welcome to today's morning edition of wealthSecret Mindset Mentorship. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back again on today's morning edition. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful weather. What a time to say, thank God that I'm alive, kicking. You have to be grateful, ladies and gentlemen. No matter what, you have to be grateful and thankful for the gift of life, for the gift of hope, for the gift of opportunity, for the fact that you can wake up and look at yourself and say, you know what, I can do this, I can do that, for the fact that you are on this program this morning, being part of our class. I want you to be grateful and thankful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're doing. And thank God, because this is one of Africa's most foremost mindset mentorship class that is among the fastest growing in the entire African continent, and we are super grateful. You know, one of the biggest motivation that we have had recently is the fact that people are beginning to testify and send us some feedback of how this mentorship class has been a part of their life, the transformation, the kind of, renewness of mind that they have. And that is what drives us. That is our motivation every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, again, just to remind most of our viewers and followers that this has no business attachment of a so kind. It's just strictly mindset mentorship. You know, our goal here is to be able to equip, educate, and enrich you with all the necessary resources and information that will empower you mentally to live the very best of your life. So I want to get into today's teaching, and it's actually about the teaching series that we started yesterday. Just to remind those watching us for the very first time, my name is Afolabi Olatunji. I'm your regular host on the Mindset Mentorship Mastermind class. We started yesterday by evaluating a particular teaching series, which we titled Five Things, Five Basic Fundamentals to Life Change. Five Basic Fundamentals to Life Change. And yesterday we started by, breaking it down piece by piece by looking at the first of the basic fundamentals to life change, which is your philosophy, your mindset, how you think, how you process ideas, everything that has to do with the way you put up ideas, information, the way you're able to process it. And that is why mindset is everything. It is the greatest reality of your life. How your life turned out around has to do with the mind, how you process, how you think, how you talk, the things that come out of you. Always everything has to do with the mindset, your philosophy. Like they say, philosophy is the greatest reality of how your life turned out around to be. And today we're going to be looking at it in a different dimension, not talking about philosophy. Of course, yesterday, even when we shared philosophy, we're able to share the two major components in philosophy or in your mindset, which is the psychology of failure and success. And we first, gave you the definition of failure, talking about a few simple errors in judgment that you repeat to yourself every single day. And then now looking at, success as, the few simple practice or disciplines you also repeat every single day. And if you look at what the failure looks like, if you look at it, it's going to fall on around whether you tell yourself, I could have done this, I should have done this, oh my God, I forgot, and they told me, and I forgot, I can't do it. And these are the things we call, accumulated disaster, and you don't want it to happen to you, not never. So ladies and gentlemen, the second part, or the second step, or second basic fundamentals to life change has to do with the kind of attitude that you also pull out. One, first, understanding that your philosophy must be the first you need to work on. And the second one must have to do with the attitude. Ladies and gentlemen, like it's often used to be said that your attitude level determines your altitude. your attitude determines your attitude. It means that you need to start working on yourself. You need to start developing you. You need to start working on your personality. What kind of attitude do you possess? Are you the type that people are going to look at and tell you, that guy, every time it appears, he's always like this, he's always like that? Or are you the type that people don't want to be around with? Are you the type that people will look at and say, I don't want to associate with this person? Or are you the type that when people hear your name, they would not want to really have anything to do with you? Most people, they don't get to put themselves in that right attitude. So they always want to be about themselves and say, I'm going to live my life to the fullest. Sometimes having the right attitude costs you some certain level of sacrifices you must have to let go. You can't say you want to be doing the same thing when you are growing older. There are some certain attitude you must have to drop when you are much younger. There are some certain attitude you must have to, imbibe when you're growing older. There are some certain food, for example, the moment you start growing older and you are over 40 years, doctor will start advising you on some certain things you don't need to do, which you need to now start doing. I mean, it always has to do with us. So attitude, ladies and gentlemen, is something that can determine how your life turns out around to be. It's a major prerequisite to the best of life change that you want to experience. In fact, most people, because of the kind of attitude they have, they are not willing to let go of their past. I've said it here too, that your past must be tagged or looked at as a school. Let your past be a school. The kind of things you do in the past, you can repeat it in the future. You've been out there, you've been struggling all through your life. The moment you've been blessed with one little thing, everything starts changing. I don't say you should change completely, but the kind of change you want to see must be a change that will present you as a better person to the world at large, to the people around you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So your attitude is everything. So I want to quickly try to let you know that you need to start working on you. You need to start working on your personality. You need to start working on who you want to be and how you want your life to turn out around to be. You have to look at yourself and say, I got to be able to start appreciating myself, which I call self-worth. They said the understanding of self-worth is the beginning of progress. The understanding of self-worth is the beginning of progress. I want you to write that down. The understanding of self-worth is the beginning of progress. You need to start understanding yourself. You need to start discovering the best of you, to discover the best of your potential. What kind of attitude do you have? You need to know that I have what it takes to achieve greatness in my life. I have what it takes. It doesn't matter what people say about me. It doesn't matter my background. It doesn't matter the color of my skin. It doesn't matter the kind of country I come from. Success is a global principle. The moment you start looking at it as someone that, I have the right attitude, and in order for you to have the attitude, you must also look at what we call confidence. Your confidence level has to go from 0 to up there to 100. So with the right confidence, you will be able to possess the right attitude. Now, I want you to look at it from this way. Now, maybe perhaps you work in an environment whereby you have your boss, you have people. It doesn't matter whereby you look at you being submissive, you want to learn. Some person's arrogancy has turned them, and ego has changed them, and they don't know. Some persons, it is the job they are doing that has changed their personality, that has changed their attitude. Some persons right now in their home, their family cannot even enjoy them. They give excuses for everything, whereby they don't even get to spend time with their family. They don't even get to spend time with what matters to them. They begin to have a different attitude. They begin to have a different behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes when you beginning to grow in life, when you beginning to discover the best of you, you need to now start working on you. You can, move from, I call it, you can move from primary school into university. Everything has to go in progress, all right? You can't move from primary school again and say, now I'm going to jump my secondary school level, and then you jump straight into your college or university. It's impossible. So you have to grow in phases. I'll tell you something. You need to start looking at it and say, I will become the best. I will now change. I will not allow what people say about me to be the thing that will change me. I'm going to work on myself every single day to be the best I can do. I'm going to work on myself to be the best in my class. I'm going to work on myself to be the best among my, my colleagues, among my peers. I'm going to work on myself to be the best in my field. I'm going to work on myself to be the best in whatever that I have found doing or working for me. I'm going to work on myself to be the best in my relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, attitude is everything. You cannot possess a different attitude and yet you're looking at having or becoming or presenting yourself in a different way. You have to have the same thing. Let people say every time you mention someone like Afolabi, let people be able to say, no, I think I know that guy. I think it's the type that I'm not saying you should look at people's, judgment of what they say about you. People are going to talk about you, whether it's for good or bad. You can't do with that. I mean, as far as you're on this planet called Earth, people will talk about you. The question is, within you that what you are doing, you are not mixing things up and you are not trying to cut the corners, and you are doing everything that you are doing humanly to make the best out of your life. All right? Don't look at pleasing people. Don't look at telling until somebody give me the pat at the back. No, it's not about people. That's not the kind of attitude I'm talking. In fact, to have the right attitude, you must have to know that life change begins with education, not inspiration. All right? To have the best of attitude, life change begins with education, not inspiration. You can be inspired, because when you are inspired, inspiration will only cost for a few minutes and then it's going to fizzle out. But education is the one that you're learning. For example, you being part of this class this morning is part of education. You begin to learn what it takes. You begin to learn from the 5 basic fundamentals to life change. We took you from the first phase, which is your philosophy, which is how you think, how you process ideas. Now we're talking about attitude. These are education, ladies and gentlemen. It's just like you're trying to motivate an idiot. What you have when you motivate an idiot is the produce, or the result of that is what we call a motivated idiot. All right? You cannot motivate an idiot. Rather, you have to educate someone like that. And when you educate them, what happens is that they bring about the best out of their life, and then life change begins to start. All right? So we don't start life with motivation. We start life with what? Education. So ladies and gentlemen, if you notice that you kind of, what people say, how you feel, you don't feel good, you feel like you need to start working on yourself. And guess what? Always go for a honest feedback. Be careful of people that will tell you you are the best in your field. Sometimes you also have to look at those people that will tell you it remains, you need to adjust like this. And sometimes feedback is very good, ladies and gentlemen. Feedback is very good in order for you to discover and work on yourself to have the best of attitude. Sometimes it's not everybody that hails you and that praise you are the one that likes you. In fact, sometimes you need to be afraid of people like that. Look at honest feedback from people. When people crucify you, don't take it negatively. Then look at it, and then you look at it and say, what can I work on? What if they are wrong, or what if they are right? Can I even make this adjustment? You start working on yourself. All right? It's very important. You must have the right attitude. Remember, your attitude level determines the better attitude you have determines the way your attitude level in life. And I want to encourage you this morning, as you're watching and listening everywhere all across the world, that you need to start working on yourself. And to work on yourself, you need to start reading the right books. You need to start associating with the right people. You need to have some set of goals, ladies and gentlemen. And those set of goals could also help you to start working on yourself, whereby some of the things that has caused you distraction on your way to achieving greatness will no longer be there, because when you have some set of goals, these goals are the driving factors, and then they will begin to shaping you into the right manner, and then you eventually become the best part of you. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the message for you, and like I tell you, it is nothing but other than the message of hope, message of transformation, message that will bring about the renewedness of mind. As you stay connected to this Mindset Mentorship class, I want to tell you something, that one of the best things you can do for someone that you care about is to always share our video with them. Matter of fact, invite them to be part of the live podcast. Some persons tells us and said, Afolabi, listen, you are doing a phenomenal job. In fact, this program has transformed my life. Every time after my morning prayers, I always look forward to joining this class every single day. And that is somebody's prayer. No wonder the way the person is flying at a greater altitude. And it's not just about being a follower in our class. We encourage you to be a student. Ladies and gentlemen, don't just be a follower, be a student. When you are a student, you'll be able to learn. But when you're a follower, you take instruction, all right? You take orders, not instructions, all right? You're just like, hey, this is what we want you to do. No, we don't want you to do like that. We want you to take instructions, not orders, all right? And that's why we encourage you not to be a follower, to be a student. And when you are a student, everything you do eventually will look at as a product of your own personal conclusion. Because at the end, nobody is going to live your life. Nobody is going to help you do your own work. Nobody is going to carry your responsibility, because you need to start accepting it. Let whatever you do, let it be a product of your own conclusion. Never you look at blaming people for your own actions. Take responsibility for your actions, and then guess what? You begin to have the best, and you begin to become the best, because what? Your attitude level will determine the level of your attitude. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we draw it a curtain this morning. Tomorrow again, we're going to be wrapping it up with something very interesting, and then you don't want to miss it. You know, you can talk about philosophy, you can talk about attitude. How about if I share with you that we also need to look at what is called activities? You don't want to wait to hear that, ladies and gentlemen. So we encourage you to stay connected to this mindset program tomorrow, as we're going to be breaking it down in piece by piece. What kind of activities do I need to now do? Remember, we're talking about 5 basics to life change. If you want to learn about these 5 basics, you need to stay connected to this mentorship class. This is why we draw it a curtain on today's program. We encourage you to be part of our daily podcast from Monday to Friday, every day, 9 a.m. West African time. And this, ladies and gentlemen, our goal is to be able to attract over 5,000 lives before the close of the year. And we're looking forward to someone like you to help us in expanding and growing our community. I want to say thank you for staying connected. We'll see you again same time on the same link tomorrow on wealthSecrets Mindset Mentorship class. Ladies and